Oh yes, we're a little hard to knock down. While many in Norse paganism can't say they are a Viking, that's a profession. I'm a U.S. Army paratrooper, and we did in fact raid for oil. Say, you know what? I do a lot of charity work too. I got a thing for St. Jude's if you're interested and want to hurt me. Am I not raiding the finances of the public? Perception. Today we're going to talk about Havamal stanza 72. This is a special one to Mr. Norseman. My Scandinavian grandmother shared this with me at Yule. She had just married a Jewish man. She explained that adoption was a big part of our culture, that we had many ancestors that had been adopted into our line as well. She said a son is better, even if born late, or after a father's departure. That is, of course, they are raised from a kinsman to a kinsman. You know, young man, in Norse paganism we venerate our ancestors more than anything. Stories, customs, traditions are handed down, much like I do with my children, and the general public now, to the neighborhood. And you have quite the contention that Christianity somehow owns Norse paganism because of Snorri Sturluson. Our faith outdates yours by over 4,000 years. Over 30 tribes scattered from Francia to Scandinavia, each with their own spin. That's more families than I can count handing down these traditions. Sometimes these were done in private or even covertly. Don't forget we also had the skalds, venerated position which some consider me a part of. Welcome to my table for now. And you think this is some kind of argument? I say you're a fool. Yes, we were here before you, and we're still standing today. Not because of Snorri, but because we're family. And if someone should lose their family, they're adopted in like my Jewish grandfather, whom I venerate. You know, we have a lot of text, and they've been translated by many different people. Each one with slight variations that makes one think differently. I find it an exercise in wisdom. That's what we're passing down, not the editor. You know, I really like Jackson Crawford's Cowboy Havamal. Yeehaw! And in his Cowboy Havamal, verse 72 goes like this. It's good to have a son, or someone you can call that. There ain't too many remembered except those that left family behind. We can read this at face value, or we can look deeper into it. Have family to leave behind, and pass your wisdom on to them. If they don't have family, adopt them in. Does this mean Dr. Jackson Crawford owns us? Owns the gods, our ancestors. I mean, he owns the copyright. You can't own wisdom. You've clearly demonstrated this. Furthermore, the ancestor, the editor, or the chucklefuck on the internet, like yours truly, does not own it. Take it or leave it. You're either better for it or ignorant. That was a great Yule and Hanukkah. I tell my children every year at Yule. You know, right before I make the Christmas ham. You're welcome for that. Oh, that's because our ancestors would always slaughter a boar because they were sacred to us. Does that mean we own your Christmas? Hey, work with me here. Hear me out. They used to get 10 days off from Yule and it was forbidden to work. It's weird how societies pick and choose the rules and what's valid and what isn't. Regardless, since you consider this an argument, young man, since you need this to be a win or a loss, we're still here. Good luck knocking us down. We're known to be quite sturdy. Little stubborn too, yeah. No, young man, all wisdom did not bottleneck at Snorri Sturluson and it was suddenly owned by the church. And in fact, that last line's what I really want to address. That's why I brought up the adoption part. We blended into many societies as we traded with them. That didn't bottleneck at Snorri either. We have many races in Norse paganism now, just like our ancestors did. Those we marry into the family, those we adopt. And to that racist little last comment there, you want to get to them, you got to get through the stubborn and sturdy us. The giant irony here is, many of us have nothing in common, but we have one thing, one giant thing in common. We're all family passing things down, blood or not. The control of outside entities trying to assert power on us and our opinions, our biases. Thank you for demonstrating that those are handed down. They won't be in my family. No, the neighborhood's growing, and it bothered you so much that you had to leave a comment on the internet. May you find happiness, young man, because I'm not seeing it tonight. Ah-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.